All right, so we have been talking about how to find the total surface areas of prisms and cylinders. So today we are going to focus on finding the total surface area of pyramids. So pyramids are also a 3D shape, and they have some similarities to prisms, but they are different in some ways. So if you look at this photo down here, this is a pyramid. So you have, if we were to create a net of it and lay it out flat, this right here would be the base. And then we have a total of, in this case, 4 lateral faces. So right now I want you to pause the video and talk about what are the differences between pyramids and prisms. All right, so the difference is that a prism is going to have 2 bases, whereas a pyramid only has 1 base. Also, the lateral faces are not rectangular like a prism. They are triangular. So the definition of a pyramid then is it is a 3D figure, and you should be writing this down in your notes that Mr. Jordan has passed out. A 3D figure with a polygon base and triangular lateral faces that meet at a point. And I forgot to write the title, so I'm going to do that. Let me double check the title. Surface area of pyramids. Okay, so a regular pyramid then. So pause the video, talk about what is a regular polygon. See if you can remember what that is. All right, so a regular polygon means the polygon has congruent angles as well as congruent sides. So a regular pyramid means that the pyramid has a base that is a regular polygon. So we're going to write down the definition of that. A pyramid whose base is a regular polygon. All right, so slant height is the next definition. So if we think about what we know about height, we know that the height is always perpendicular to the base. But if you look at a pyramid, the height of the lateral faces is not going to be perpendicular to the base. So if you look at this picture right here, the height is at a slant. So that's why we call it a slant height. So the definition is the height of each triangle of a pyramid. Okay, so this lesson focuses on the surface area of pyramids. So we have learned how to find the surface areas of cylinders and prisms. Now we are going to focus on surface areas of pyramids. So in other words, how much space does this cover? Okay. So to find the surface area formula for all pyramids, the easy part is, well, let's actually think about how to find, and don't write this down, how to find the total surface area of prisms. How can we modify this to find this total surface area of pyramids? All right, so pause this video and talk about that with your groups. All right, so if you said that we only have to find the area of one base, you are correct. So I'm just going to replace 2b with b. And the reason is because there's only one base. So we only have to find the area of the one base of the pyramid. So another way to find the lateral surface area is similar to a prism, but you are going to take half the perimeter and then multiply it, instead of by the height, by the slant height. And we use a lowercase cursive L to represent height. So I'm actually going to put that right next to slant height in parentheses. So that's the variable that we use. All right, so now we are going to find the total surface area of this first regular pyramid. How would you describe this pyramid? So pause the video and think about what kind of pyramid is this? And you need to look at the base to determine that. All right, if you said square pyramid, you are correct, because the base is the shape of a square. All right, so once again, we are going to find the total surface area by starting with the formula, just like you did with prisms. All right, so to find the area of the base of a square, you are just going to take the side and square it, okay? Now you can also do base times height, but remember, a square, all the sides are the same, so you can just square the length of one of the sides. So s squared is side squared plus 1/2 the perimeter. So if I were to try to find the perimeter of a square, I just have to multiply one of the sides by 4. So 4 times s. I could also just do s plus s plus s plus s, but remember, repeated addition is just multiplication. And then we're going to multiply by the slant height. Okay, so now all I've done so far is just write the formulas. That's it. Now I'm going to plug in the numbers. So I'm going to plug in 5 for the side. And then I'm going to plug in 5 again for the side right here. And then for slant height is 8 inches. So again, remember, this slant height is the height of each triangle of a pyramid. So this is the height of that triangle. All right, so now all you have to do is solve. So that's 25, that's 5 times 5, not 5 times 2. I can cross cancel here. So 2 times 5 is 10, times 8 is 80. Then I add those up together and I get 105. So your answer is 105 inches squared, because we're talking about area. All right, moving on to the next page. Name the regular pyramid. All right, pause the video and see if you can figure out how to identify this pyramid. All right, if you said triangular pyramid, you are correct, because the base is a triangle. So it's regular, which means that each side is 10 meters of the base. Once again, we're going to start with the formula. So to find the area of a triangle, pause the video and talk with your group about how you would find the area. All right, so you're going to do 1/2 base times height. So we're just substituting that for the area of the base, plus 1/2 the perimeter. And there are a total of 3 sides, so I'm just going to multiply the length of the side by 3, times the slant height. All right, so now I'm going to plug in my numbers. 1/2. So let me highlight that again, like I did before. So again, all we've done right here is just plug in, we've just written out the formulas. Now we plug in the numbers. All right, what is the base of the triangle? And sometimes I like to shade it in or even draw it again like this to help me see the dimensions of the base. So you can do that if that's helpful. All right, so what's the base? Is 10. What's the height of the triangle? Is 8.7. I'm gonna actually use parentheses because I have decimals. All right, so now I'm going to find the perimeter. To do that, you just do 3 times the length of the side, which is 10. So 10 plus 10 plus 10, or 10 times 3, or 3 times 10. And then I'm going to multiply it by the slant height, which is 14. So again, the slant height is 14. So now I compute. I'm gonna cross cancel here, get my calculator. All right, so 43.5 plus, cross cancel here. So 3 times 5 is 15. Times 14 is 210. Now I add those up together, and I'm gonna get 253.5. And then make sure that you use the correct unit, which is meters squared.